Hello everybody, and welcome to the final episode of the Pony Talk podcast for Generation 4. Woo! Wow. Oh, beautiful, Chris.
Yeah.
That was great too. We got a lot of enthusiasm. I'm loving it. And I noticed from the last episode, I actually forgot to introduce myself. So with that being said, I am your awesome host, Dashy101, and today, guys, I am joined with two special people who have been with the podcast mainly through its start, from its beginning and, well, to its end. We'll talk more about that. But anyway, I am here with Poppy. Say hello, Poppy.
Poppy.
All right, his famous I'm Poppy. And Chris, guys. So, yeah.
Chris, you say hello?
Yeah.
Stop.
That works. That works.
You said what's up.
All right.
That's good.
Um.
Perfect.
Yeah, guys, so we are talking about the final episode, 26, The Last Problem, or the overall episode 222. Yeah, this is the episode to end it all, and before we actually start, I just wanted to say and stuff, you know, as much as this is the last and stuff, we're going to make this as great as possible, go out with a bang. Hopefully not too literally, but you know, it's gonna be great.
Will you be crying? I hope there won't be any crying during this.
We'll try not to.
Okay.
Anyways,
Unless if I suddenly a cry of laughter for some reason, but
yeah.
just like the last episode we did.
Yep. So I got all my stuff. I'm prepared and stuff. Got my plushies here. I feel like I'm copying Inconspicuous because he also had Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy, but I have Spike and behind me. So
That was just my dog right here.
okay, that works too. Yeah.
I'm getting rid of my point.
That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
No. Poppy, how could you?
I'm replacing them with Poppy stuff.
Why can't you have Poppy
Yeah.
and Pony stuff?
I need space for things.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, any other additional comments before we head off? Well, head on to getting the episode talked about. I don't think so. What about you guys?
I'm good.
Alright.
Nope.
Alright.
Good too.
Alright. So we are all good, and let's just dive right into this this last episode. The Last Problem. So, our episode begins at the brand new and approved Canterlot Castle that's more updated, with a bunch of towers. It looks more like a metropolis now. It actually looks pretty neat. We have all creatures, not just ponies, throughout Canterlot 2, and we get to see some of the new beautiful views and stuff. They did a really good job rebuilding the castle. And then we also have a monument, a statue of the main six too, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. I really like that. I was hoping though we would see the statue of the villains too. That would be a nice little touch too.
Did you see that?
Huh?
Yeah.
I thought we saw that.
We did, but that was in the last episode, the ending of an end.
Yeah.
We didn't see it in this episode, which it would have been a nice little
I
Easter
thought we
egg.
did. I thought we did at the very beginning of.
No, that was the main six as statues. Yeah,
I must have gone some.
that's all right. I can see it's confusing. They look very similar. So, but anyway, we basically get around, quick look at the new and approved Canterlot. And then we are quickly introduced into one of Twilight's students that Twilight has worked with for quite some time, Luster Dawn. Luster Dawn joins us in this episode, and she is, well, the main story of what is going to be happening in this episode. And we are quickly introduced to what Twilight and Spike look like
Wow.
in the future. Which,
Yeah, like how many
20
years?
years.
Yeah, like how many years into the future?
It's confirmed. It's confirmed by the staff, by the MLP writers themselves that it takes place 20 years in the future.
oh, that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, all right.
Okay.
Very.
That's good. That we know that information, because I know one.
But man, Spike, man.
Yeah, Spike looked
Spike
very
is all
weird.
buff.
He was buff and stuff.
What a hunk.
He's not gonna have trouble getting rarity. He's not gonna have trouble getting rarity.
Yeah,
Especially with those guns.
I'm pretty sure he's over already.
Yeah, so Spike is all buffed out, and Twilight is more of a reincarnation of Celestia. I think they took
Yeah.
the same Celestia kind of,
So
but
pretty.
she looks really nice
I
and
want to
stuff.
see. I need a plushie of that. Please give me a plushie
Yes, yes, I could do that. Yep. I don't know about Spike though. Spike still seemed a little weird to me,
of that.
but
Somebody needs to make it, please.
we, instead of seeing this cute little guy, now we got a big giant Spike now. So yeah, and
He's dragging now into a muscle-bound hunk.
yeah, basically. So it was very it was one tough bone to bite right there, because like we're just getting this thrown at us in this episode. We jump back 20 years, as Chris said, as the cast has confirmed it, and yeah, so that's just mind-blowing, and I know a lot of people probably were like, what's going on? Where are we? What? But anyway, going past that, Spike and Twilight then go to Lester, which Lester Dawn enters Canterlot, and she talks about how Twilight has taught her really well, and she was a really good teacher back at the school, but Lester then comes forth and says something that is a little bit interesting. She says that friendship she doesn't really need anymore, or she doesn't find interested to it, that it's not needed, not necessary. Now, where do we hear that one from?
Yeah.
Where have I heard that one?
Yeah,
before?
where have I heard that one before? Yeah, I'm just checking. Okay, that's not important. Yeah, so it was just message. Someone's texted me, so. But anyway, yes, Lester says that she doesn't feel like she needs friendship, even though she knows it plays a very important role in the land of Equestria. But she's like, I don't.
Where have I heard that one before?
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, this ends up making Spike kind of freak out, and Twilight's like, okay, so friendship doesn't interest you. Big whoop, that's alright, because, you know, friendships do change. And, now sit down, kids, because I'm gonna tell you a story, basically what Twilight's saying. And, so she takes us back down to memory lane. I believe this was like a few more episodes or days before, or maybe even a month or so.
Final battle.
Yeah, well, after the fact of the final battle, because I believe we're seeing Twilight and Spike, what they originally looked like, and they're packing up. They're packing up the old castle. And Twilight says, "Oh, Spike, you might want this," and hands over Power Ponies magazine. And Spike's like, that's great, Twilight, but, I'm kind of growing up, and, I don't really need to take this. I mean, it's a great memory, but I don't really need it anymore. And Twilight's, like, confused, says, what? But you love Power Ponies. He's like, yeah, but I already read this comic. So he's like, besides, I'm just starting to become a bigger dragon, and I want to look into other mature stuff. But, so Twilight's kind of like a little bit, shocked about that. And, she's also kind of a little bit upset about, leaving Ponyville. So, this is, also kind of hard, too, because, we're seeing Twilight pack up, which obviously, so the castle must be rebuilt at this point. That's why I said that I believe this episode took place a month or a few more days than that into the fact Twilight is packing up and moving to Canterlot, so she can be the new ruler of Equestria for her coronation. Then Twilight goes to her friends to make sure, see if they're interested with going to her, with her, because, she doesn't really want to go by herself and stuff. Yeah, she has Spike, but she kind of wants her friends there too, because this is a really important moment. To come and bite her in the flank that her friends are really busy and too focused on setting up for her coronation. And this is where Twilight starts to kind of get really upset, because get kind of upset in a sad way. Not like, I mean, she's upset. I guess it could go both ways, because she was pretty upset that her friends didn't really want to do anything with her at that point, and they were too focused on something else, and that she is leaving. And then this is where the story, it kind of goes back to the future, and Lester kind of says, or did I say Lester? Yeah, Lester. So she's like, okay, so your friends didn't want to go with you, and they were too busy with figuring out your coronation and all that, so you guys ended up not being friends after that because you left. And Spike then says, well, you're partially right. Which, at this point, I was kind of thinking, now, Spike, come on now. Everyone's together and stuff. It's just not like you guys just split after that. But I liked how Spike was being a little dramatic with that. So anyway, Twilight goes back to what has happened to tell more of the story, and she's like, okay, so I'll explain more of the reason. So while that, Twilight is kind of upset about her leaving Ponyville and her friends behind, she starts packing up the last few things and stuff, and then heads out until she's stopped by the rest of the main six. They are all together, even though they reported that they were really busy and they could not do whatever Twilight wanted at that point because they were too busy setting up her coronation. They're all here now, and Twilight's like, oh, you guys are here. I guess you guys are just gonna say goodbye and then just leave me. And they don't really have anything to say at this point. And then Twilight just says, bye. And this part was, like, kind of heartbreaking a little bit. Seeing these characters now been through what they have, and then kind of seeing Twilight kind of brush them off to the side, saying, oh yeah, bye, I guess you don't care about me. That was kind of hard to see. I kind of took a hard punch with that. Yeah, and then the next scene that came up was Twilight, because one of them mentions about the coronation, and then Twilight blows up and says, "That's the problem. You guys are too focused about my coronation and stuff, and you don't even care that I'm leaving Ponyville." And this kind of brings up another dramatic point. And then this is where they go and say, "Twilight, now why in Equestria would you say something like that?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, you guys are too busy focusing on other things and stuff. I just want to, think about you guys at the moment right now. I mean, yes, it's awesome that the coronation's going to be happening and you guys are worried about it, but I want to be here right now. What is going on right now is what is important, not what is about to happen." And then they start talking about, well, what if we don't see each other anymore? What happens if we end up stop being friends and all that? And everyone gets emotional at this point. And I gotta say, kind of including me.
Here come the tears.
Yeah, here come the tears. Yeah, that was kind of a breaking moment. But it did not get me as bad as what we're going to be talking about. It was sad that they were thinking that, but at the same time, Rarity said, "Oh shoot, the train, you got to get on the train or you're never going to make the coronation." And Rarity says, "Twilight, I'll go with you," and stuff. And so they head out to the Ponyville Express, and they get on the train. All of them get on the train. And then this is where they start packing, putting everything together and all that. And then this is where Rainbow Dash, I believe, said, "Oh, shoot, okay. Girls, I gotta go. I gotta make sure the Wonderbolts have everything down one last time." And she dashes out the train, and I was just like, "Alright, bye." And she then goes off to Cloudsdale, or the Wonderbolts Academy, where none of the Wonderbolts are there to be seen. And she's like, "Oh, shoot. Okay, this is not good. So, we didn't get a practice in. Yeah, this can't go good." And on top of that, Fluttershy with her animals, because they are supposed to crown Twilight when she receives her crown for the coronation. The food is left behind for them, which that ends up creating chaos at the coronation. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you sure about that? Yeah. Okay, you're doing nothing. Right.
I'm listening.
Okay. Chris, what about you? Nice ceiling. Oh. Did he? I think he just left us. Yep, well,
Hello?
Chris has officially left us, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know where he went, but, did he legitimately leave? Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, guess it's down to two. His camera's there. Yeah, his camera's still on. It's just pointing up to the ceiling. See, this is the thing I'm going to miss. Our randomness on the podcast. This is the best, Okay, so as much as we're not getting much on the Chris cam, we'll still continue on with the story because he'll be with us eventually. He's probably just doing something. But I am going to take a swig. Oh, jeez. Alright. Refreshed and ready to talk about the next part. So, while Twilight ends up getting everyone rushed to the train, Rainbow Dash checking on the Wonderbolts, ends up they're not there, and everything then starts to kind of collapse on this. And then Pinkie Pie worrying about Gummy with the fireworks. Yeah, there's a lot to be very concerning about. And then Big Mac with the apples, because there was supposed to be apple cider the best apple cider in all of Equestria, and then the best apple sauce, which that ended up getting mixed up where the cider and stuff, which was very interesting. Though. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, so as all that is not going well and it's all going downhill, they arrive at Canterlot, and the princesses are like, Twilight, there you are. And they're like, are you ready? And Rarity comes in and is like, heavens, no, she needs to get dressed and all that. And they're like laughing and giggling. They're like, okay, you girls take your time. And Rarity ends up spiffing her up. So Twilight is presentable when she is announced during the coronation that she will be the new ruler of Equestria. Then I did forget something too. While they were at Ponyville and stuff, Spike actually came through and said that Starlight and him had something to give Twilight. And then that's when Twilight blew off, and then they ended up missing the train and all that. Sorry about that. But anyway.
Oh well.
Yeah, oh well, we tried. Anyway, yeah, so Twilight is all fancied up and all that, and everything's starting to get prepared for this big coronation that's going to be happening. Or as least is what we thought. So Twilight and the others are getting all this ready. Fluttershy is having trouble with the animals because she did not have the food that she promised them, so they're kind of angry at her about that. Gummy is by himself with the fireworks. Probably not a good idea, Pinkie Pie. But, you know, I guess Gummy somewhat knows how to launch fireworks. I don't know if I'd trust an alligator, though. But anyway, and then we have the waiters serving the supposable delicious apple cider in all of Equestria, which ends up being this. It reminded me, I don't know if it was like apple sauce or something, but it looks like applesauce, but you could like see it was like a crushed up apple like in those glasses, and I was like, oh yeah, not good.
Well, that was delicious though.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love applesauce and stuff, just like, I don't know if like just, I don't know, it wasn't prepared just right, just the way that they said they would have it, so, obviously it was mixed up. Yeah. But anyway, this is where we have, all of them in a mishap. The coronation then begins. The princesses announce Twilight as the new ruler of Equestria. So proud of Twilight. I think a lot of us were at that point, and of course your friends and all the ponies. Even though
it didn't go quite as planned, but
it did not go quite as planned, because right after the princesses did this really cool thing that I really liked with the tiaras and stuff, they merged them, and that created Twilight's own tiara, which was really neat. I really enjoyed that. And then we had the animals setting the tiara on her head, which obviously you could see they weren't agreeing with each other. And then that ends up happening and stuff. The tiara doesn't sit right. Twilight's hanging off the balcony because the animals are getting upset. And then we have Gummy lighting the fireworks. They're just going all over. And then,
all over the place.
Yep. And, yeah, all hell breaks loose. It's not good. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just one big, yep, beautiful.
That's the last one ever. That's the last one you guys are ever going to hear from me.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know. Like, this is the last podcast, isn't it?
It is the last. It is the last podcast and stuff, but we'll actually be talking about that. Because I actually came to my final decision on that. Stay tuned to the end of this podcast. We're actually going to be talking about it. But we're also going to be talking about other things too before we close off this episode. But everything goes wrong, and it's then all kind of fixed together, and Twilight's like, well, I mean, I guess I went off and stuff. And so then we return back to the future, and then we have Luster, who says, okay, so your friends kind of were upset that you made the comment about you never seeing each other, and it seemed like you guys weren't friends and all that, and then your coronation went horribly wrong, yada yada yada. But what does this have to bring? And she's like, well, this is what happened. So then we flash back to them sitting around where the remains of the coronation are. It's all of the main six, and they're talking about stuff, and they're like, you know, Twilight, as much as this coronation was horrendous, that was a pretty interesting coronation you went there. Didn't go as planned, but we still haven't figured out how we're going to see each other. And then Twilight's kind of having a problem, and then she thinks of something. She says, I got an idea. We're going to set up a friendship council. This is where we're going to meet every moon. Every full moon we'll gather.
Once a moon.
Yeah, once a moon. Once a moon. We'll meet together, and we'll just see each other and see how we're all doing. So yeah, that's all planned, and the girls are very liking the idea. So it all goes together, and then right at the sec we get back to the future, to where the main six actually start coming to Canterlot. You see a portal open up with a Discord in Fluttercord. Yeah, for it is and stuff. Even though there are some people that don't agree with that, I gotta say, yeah, it's there. It's there. It's canon.
Have you seen Bride of Discord?
Yeah, I've seen Bride of Discord, but that's fan made. But I mean, with the other episode that we watched, She Talks to Angel, Fluttershy, or Angel's mind, already knew what Fluttershy was thinking, and then she said, I want to marry Discord and stuff. They just made it canon and stuff. And I think that was definitely help from the fans, so definitely credit to the fans there. I honestly think, yeah. Well, and it's definitely credited to the fans, too, of just, I think, most things and stuff. Because if it wasn't for us, the show wouldn't be going as long as it did. If it didn't get as much attention as it did. But anyways, going back, the main six all arrive there, and let's just like, wait, so this is the Friendship Council? And Twilight laughs and says, yes, this is it. This is once every moon. And here we are. And she says, so let me get this straight. You guys had a problem. The coronation didn't turn out well. But you guys are all still here and still friends, even though you got into tough situations? And Twilight says, yes. And, you know, friendships are going to change. But that doesn't mean they have to end. And this is where we go into a song moment. The last song of, well, actually, before we get to the song, the princesses, when Twilight is talking amongst her friends, setting up the council, Celestia and Luna actually say their goodbye. This is a very important scene because this gives us information of where they're headed to next. They said they're going into retirement at Silver Shoals. So yes, they said you
I don't know
can
what
come.
that is.
We don't know where that is and stuff, but obviously it's a senior or a princess retirement home. Who knows? But yeah, so yeah, it's probably just a retirement home somewhere in Equestria. But anyway, they said, Twilight, if you need any assistance or any help with anything, you know where to find us. And then that's when it closes off, and then we go into the scene where Lester then says, okay, so you guys did this and this, but you guys are still friends. And then Twilight says, yes, even though friendships are going to change and stuff, they will work out in the end no matter what. And then this is when we go into the song, which, oh boy, that song was beautiful. The magic of friendship grows. It I gotta say, probably 98% of fans of My Little Pony watching this finale probably shed at least one tear.
I certainly did.
Hands up in the air. Yeah. And I think it was just the reason why is that we see this amazing scene of the main six, and then we see all the ponies that they helped or what basically inspired them or were big help throughout their journey and stuff, and then just seeing all that come together. And then at that last end scene, we see Lester find Ponyville, and then she goes off with her new friends. And then we see the main six smiling, and then a giant rainbow is over top of them. And yes, imagination. Yes. Yeah, so
I can see a rainbow.
I can see a rainbow. Yeah, guys. That really was touching. I gotta hand it to the MLP cast, the people who have worked on the show. It really was very touching, and they definitely knocked it out of the ballpark with this finale, which we all wanted and requested, and they certainly delivered that message. So a huge shout out to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic for 9 years of Pony. Love you guys so much.
Credits to the staff.
Credits to the staff. Hands up. Chris, where are you? We're trying to get the staff, credited and stuff, and you're not even here. If you can hear us, move your camera. No? Alright. So,
Okay.
I don't know if, Chris just died or something. Yeah, rest in peace, because, he's gone. I don't know. It's the spirit of Chris right now. There's nothing but his. This is all you guys are going to remember is Chris's beloved ceiling. That's all you're gonna remember.
And this beloved painting behind me here.
Yeah, there you go. And guys,
You have a good look at it.
yeah, I still am blown away by how much the show has gone on for, and the fans who helped made the show get where it is now. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm texting Chris here and stuff because I want him at this last part. I shouldn't have to do this, but Oh jeez. And we're back, guys. We finally retrieved Chris. He's just been having bad internet reception and stuff. This was the same thing, same problem we had. Making sure that's on. Same thing we had with the last episode, but he is here, and now we're just gathering up our final thoughts and stuff. Yeah, the last problem. Even though there were a few people out there saying they did not like the persona of the main six being what they are in the future and stuff, they didn't really think it was necessary. I thought it was really nice. It was a neat episode. So yeah, but anyways, I gotta say that I'm very happy that I discovered this fandom, because I met so many wonderful people. And another thing too, not to get you guys all emotional and stuff like that, but I just wanted to say, I gotta say that, okay, it's just my face now.
Alright.
Yep. Okay, that's better. Alright, we're good.
Okay, I'm having some problems too.
Alright, so we're gonna wrap this up, but I just wanted to say, Chris and Poppy, it was amazing meeting you guys and stuff, and I hope we can continue on. These guys have been veterans of the podcast and stuff, so definitely give them a round of applause and stuff, because they've been here from day number uno. And yeah, so we got some headbanging right there, and so it's great and stuff. It was an episode that went down in Brony history, and we will always remember the message of friendship is magic. And guys, you know, even though Generation 4 may be over, there is one thing that does go out there that I want you guys to take in consideration. This is a quote by the famous writer Dr. Seuss, saying, "Don't cry because it's ending. Be glad that it happened." And that's true. That is really true. So
that is a very well worded quote.
Mm-hmm. So yes, a little bit of inspiration for more childhood, and I knew that wasn't the last of that. So that is definitely the final one right there. Again, thank you so much, Friendship is Magic, for Generation 4. We really did love it, and yeah. Again, thank you so much, Poppy. Thank you, Chris, for joining me on the podcast through how long it's been out. I know it hasn't been out for the entire series of My Little Pony, but we got a pretty good chunk out of it. So yeah, that's nice and stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I did want to also say too, before this podcast ends, guys, on the outro, there's going to be a list of everyone's names listed who has been throughout the Pony Talk podcast, thanking everyone. Even if they were shown for one episode and stuff, they are still going to be included on that list. So you'll see that on the outro. So make sure you don't skip, because there's also a special message at the end of that. But yes, and I know I would talk a little bit about Generation 5, where that's going to go and all that, if the podcast is going to still continue, but I'm going to let the outro speak for itself on that, so you guys go look at that. Yeah, any closing thoughts, guys? Any last things you want to say? Because this is it. This is it for Generation 4.
Well, thank you, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, for these amazing years that we've had together. Thank you very much for the friendships we made. Thank you for the impossibles that we made, and thank you for just making this a thing. Like, seriously, like I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys, and I'm actually really proud that I got to be part of this family, for sure. So
yeah, it really is and stuff. Oh god, I'm tearing up. Yes, it's not the end. It's definitely not the end, guys. I am here to stay. Poppy, he's going to be leaving us soon. So make sure you head over to his channel and watch his videos. I know there's a lot of old ones on there and stuff, but that's when he first started the channel. He just released a video of him reacting to all his videos and stuff. Not to self-advertise or anything like that, but it's pretty important because he is going to be leaving really soon here. So yes. But Chris, what about you? What are your final thoughts and comments?
I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks to all the people of MLP for doing a tremendous job with the show.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not leaving the fandom though.
Well, that's always good. And Poppy isn't either. He's just going to be leaving YouTube. But yeah.
And I found a new fandom too.
Obviously.
That doesn't mean
Obviously. Yep. And definitely go do that, guys. If you're calling it in and throwing the horseshoe in and saying you guys are done with MLP and you're ready to move on and stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys do what you do. MLP was just there, and at least those people got to experience what it was and stuff. I myself is going to stay and see what Generation 5, as long as these awesome people are as well. They're going to be doing the same thing. And yeah. Yeah. So rest in peace, MLP. Friendship is Magic 2010, 2019. And yeah, this is it. This is the last problem, all discussed, and we got our final thoughts in and all that. Thank you all so much for watching the Pony Talk podcast for Generation 4.
Yeah.
Yes. We love you guys. Just because we are done with episodes doesn't mean we're done discussing news topics or anything like that. There will be a few podcasts, but say it to the side. The podcast is going to be off to the side a little bit now that we are out of episodes and stuff. But we are still going to be doing news topics and all that, and pretty few also interesting things too. Now, I will say too, quickly, I know I keep dragging this on and stuff, G4 isn't really mainly over. The show may be over, but there are still G4 things out there. I don't know if you guys are aware, the comic books of My Little Pony have been announced for season 10. So, yeah, that's really good. Another thing too, and I don't know if some of you guys know about this, but My Little Pony has actually made a live
No, I'm talking.
We're talking to me?
Yeah.
So anyways,
you were saying that she?
Yeah.
I got a little distracted there.
yeah, it's alright. Anyways, My Little Pony has also said they're going to be doing a live action performance. So like the Lion King and stuff, it's going to be called My Little Pony Live.
It's a live action. And no, it's
Yeah.
a CGI movie. It's a CGI.
Yeah, it's CGI, but it also has real life people actually acting as the characters and stuff. It's like almost kind of like the Lion King or any other Broadway show almost. And there's a list and stuff. There's more information. We might actually link it down below. But there is still G4 out there. They're still doing it. But hopefully one day I could go see that play and stuff, because I think it would really mean a lot.
I don't know if that movie is connected to I don't know if that movie is connected to G4.
I don't know. But I do know we are at least getting a few more Equestria girls, at least one, coming our way.
We're getting another movie as well.
We are. That's
Yeah.
going to actually cut off the ties between Generation 4 and Generation 5. Mainly Generation 5 it's going to be focused on, because that's Hasbro's main point. The very big corporates are focused on Generation 5. They completely shut down the toy line for Generation 4. So, which was pretty interesting and stuff. So not only did they shut down the shop,
there hasn't been no announcement about if Equestria Girls is going to end or not.
Yeah, that still remains a mystery. But I do know this. I think we are going to do the podcast for those episodes. So yes. But guys, before this drags on any longer, thank you all so much for watching Pony Talk throughout its journey and stuff. Will it be continued? Again, stay tuned, stay to the end of the outro, and that might answer your question, and we might have an upcoming podcast if Pony Talk is going to stay with us, or if it's going to go down with G4. But guys, leave your comments down below saying what you guys thought, and how MLP has impacted your life. It's impacted a lot of ours and stuff, and others who have joined on the podcast, and people outside of the podcast. We love you, MLP, and thank you for all the fun. With that being said, guys, that is a wrap for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And, well, this is the Pony Talk Podcast going out on a solid one. Remember, guys, always stay brony. And stay as awesome as Pegasisters and fans as well, because we can't leave you guys out. Stay awesome, fans, and thank you for watching Pony Talk throughout the years. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, every pony. Bye!
Bye.